In the world of comic books, there are few superheroes with origins as emotionally charged as Batman's. However, we've carefully curated a selection of 6 characters with origin stories equally as heartbreaking. Introducing True Power Comics, top 6 origin stories that are as tragic as Batman's. So, you think you know all there is to know about the Hulk? Well, think again, my friend. Sure, we've seen the big green guy smash through buildings and hurl tanks like they're mere toys, but let's peel back the layers and dig deeper into the tragic origin story that molded the man behind the beast. The real question is, why does Bruce have trouble keeping his emotions in check in the first place? Cue the traumatic childhood and the not-so-loving father. Brian Banner, a man who not only had a close encounter with gamma radiation, but also happened to be a prime example of a savage brute. Sound familiar? Brian not only wreaked havoc on his own DNA, but also unleashed his wrath upon his wife and young Bruce. It's a messed up family album you definitely want to skip. But it gets even darker. Brian's abusive tendencies reached their peak when he took the life of Bruce's mother, all because she finally tried to leave him for good. The scars, both physically and emotionally, left a huge mark on Bruce's psyche, turning him into a complex character we know today. Prepare for a retcon twist that would make even the most seasoned comic book fans do a double take. As it turns out, Cindy Moon got a nibble from the same spider that sank its fangs into Peter Parker's hand. I know what you're thinking. Where's she been all this time then? Well, here's the thing. Cindy's unique ability and connection to the arachnic world caught the attention of the vampiric Morlun, and for her own safety, she was thrust into a life of seclusion. Doesn't make much sense because, wouldn't that also have brought attention to Peter? But anyway, imagine being locked away from the outside world, isolated and alone for years on end. It's enough to make anyone crawl up the walls, and not in the cool spider way. But here's the kicker. Cindy held the key to her freedom all along. She knew the secret code that could open up her prison door. Yet, she chose to remain confined in her bunker, yearning for a glimpse of what lay beyond those 4 walls. Why, you ask? Well, for the greater good, of course. I'm sure they could have come up with a better reason than that, but hey, I guess they were busy that day. Frank Simmons, or as we all know him, Spawn, the bearer of one of the most haunting superhero origin stories in existence. Brace yourself because this one's a real gut punch. Frank was a highly skilled CIA operative and ex-military contract killer, navigating the world of shadows and deception. And just when he thinks he's seen it all, he finds himself betrayed by his own best friend. But that's just the beginning of Frank's descent into darkness. And as if being stabbed in the back isn't enough, fate has a cruel twist in store for Frank. In the midst of his crisis, Frank's life is abruptly cut short, and his soul is condemned to the fiery depths of hell. But through a pact with a demon, Frank is granted a chance to return to Earth. However, he is transformed into a disfigured demonic entity known as Spawn. So not only does he have to grapple with his newfound appearance, but he also finds himself trapped in an existence far removed from his human self. It's a true nightmare come to life. And what's even worse is when Frank finally emerges from his 5-year absence, he discovers that his wife has moved on, remarried to his own murderer. Ouch. The heart-wrenching origin story of John Jones, better known as Martian Manhunter. Brace yourselves, for this is a tale of loss and isolation that might just leave you reaching for the nearest box of tissues. Our story begins with the shattering of family bonds. John's own twin brother is guilty of the crime of mind invasion and is convicted and imprisoned. But revenge brews within the heart of John's sibling, leading to a devastating turn of events. John's brother engineers a horrifying plague, utilizing the power of telepathy to bring about the annihilation of their entire Martian race. Imagine the weight of witnessing your own kind fall victim to a merciless fate, their minds causing them to combust into flames, their weakness. And, as the last of his kind, John is left to roam the dead landscape of Mars, surrounded by his brother's countless victims. the weight of his loneliness and the burden of survivor's guilt bearing down upon him, leaving him truly a solitary soul. While Superman found solace in the loving arms of the Kents and Batman had the loyal support of Alfred, the Martian Manhunter finds himself void of companionship, nobody to turn to, nobody to understand the depths of his pain. Rocket Raccoon, the furry little guy who has captured our hearts, and the big screen with his undeniable charm. But don't let that adorable exterior fool you, because beneath the cool demeanor lies a dark and unsettling origin story that will make you question the ethics of scientific experimentation. Rocket's journey begins with a blatant disregard for animal welfare and countless violations of ethical standards. Once an innocent raccoon roaming freely and indulging in the delights of trash bins, Rocket suddenly becomes kidnapped by some weird guy trying to make the perfect species, or something along those lines. Snatched away by unknown forces and subjected to a scientific experiment that crossed every line imaginable, Rocket is transformed into a self-aware lethal space pirate dubbed 89P1. And when he made friends and finally was about to escape, his friends and him were caught, and he had to watch them all die in front of him. What a tragic way to begin your life as a talking animal. Let's take a moment to shine a spotlight on one of the most underappreciated characters, Nebula. Her backstory often gets overshadowed by others, but it's time to give her the recognition she deserves. It's a tale of parental torment and a relentless pursuit of validation. I mean, imagine being the daughter of a mad titan, a fate that would make even the cruelest of enemies shudder. Nebula's existence is marred by the dark cloud of her father's tyranny, and the treatment she endured at his hands is nothing short of horrific. In Thanos' twisted reign of anarchy over the galaxy, he adopted Nebula after slaughtering her family. The weight of such loss is unimaginable, as Nebula is caught in a web of longing for acceptance from a figure who only knows power and cruelty. Every time she fails to impress him, he has her body parts removed and replaced with robotic ones to try and improve her. Yet, despite the pain she endures, Nebula rises like a phoenix from the ashes. With every mechanical addition, she becomes a testament to her undying spirit. She channels her anguish into redemption, determined to forge her own path and prove that she is more than just a pawn in her father's cosmic game. And there you have it, our list of the top 6 origin stories that are as tragic as Batman's. If there's one you thought should have been on this list, leave us a comment to let us know. Like and subscribe for more content, and we'll see you next time with True Power Comics.